Thanks also to our sponsors, Media Monitors, AdSwiz, Live 365, PodTrack, Sound Exchange, and Marketron. You are probably aware that we're videotaping, and we're also taking audio recordings of Rain Summit West, and they will be available on rainnews.com in the coming days. It's now my pleasure to introduce our second POV presentation. As I mentioned before, we invite a couple of thought leaders in the industry each year to come and do a 10-minute presentation on a topic of their choice. And so it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of Triton Digital, Neal Schore.
Thank you, everyone. It's good to be here today. I am excited to provide a point of view. For those of you that know me well, I'm not short on point of view, so it should be right in line with what you're expecting from me. During the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to speak how digital audio is changing. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to follow the esteemed panel that was just up here, especially because I actually agree with much of what was being described, and I believe a lot in the future. Where's our clicker? Excellent. So 2 years ago, thank you. So where we left off 2 years ago was the theme of Veruca Salt and all the complaining that she was doing. And so I decided, after getting some great feedback for actually months after the last conference, to continue with that theme and really challenge the room once again, not only for registration data, but also to think about what's next and what's coming inside of digital audio. The idea that audience goes where advertisers will follow and the support that comes with that remains the theme today, and the need for more information to continue to be gathered is critical. So today the audience is getting bigger, and the publisher base is changing. And with more change comes customization and different curation options and more control that is desired from the user. So all the I wants and the Veruca Salt-like elements that are part of the user experience are not actually changing where it's getting easier. It's changing where it's getting more difficult. That's one of the areas where Triton has had to evolve as well. And one of the places that has been critical for us to rethink our services and the participation that we have with the industry overall is to reinvent our mission, our vision, and our strategy. So Mike and I presented the revised strategy to our team just about a year ago and wanted to share that with the room today and talk about how that plays into the overall mix. Really, our goal is to connect audio to audience and audience to advertisers. And as the multi-billion-dollar marketplace continues to expand and continues to get, on one hand, more complicated, and on the other hand, more exciting, it's really the idea of taking that triangle and connecting it all together. Finding ways to make it mutually beneficial, not just for the listener, of course, where the options are expanding, but also for the advertisers and for the publishers. So what does it actually mean to say when we say audio? Well, audio is actually the media channel that's sweeping the nation. If you follow the trends and what's happening here, nearly 50% of all Americans were connected to some form of digital IP-delivered audio. It's growing, whether through AM/FM channels that are going digital and really doing a good job with that, or whether it's the pure plays, desktop listening, device agnostic, location agnostic. It's changing quite dramatically, and it's really pretty exciting overall. When we say audience, we're talking about the expanding the offline online. And that means increasing time spent listening, and that's through quality content and the curation of the actual product that's being played on air. That's providing engagement opportunities and promotions, contesting, gaming, things that happened in the traditional sphere that are happening even better now with digital connectivity. By expanding those offerings across the globe, so no longer tethered specifically to the one geographic area, but geographic agnostic, an ability to go anywhere that your smartphone or any other connected device takes you. by also taking that opportunity to take that user experience and to turn it into revenue. So everything that we do by design is taking our publisher base, where we serve the entire industry, and doing it both globally and throughout the United States for monetization. The company has been built, and where really our success is the publisher's success. And so we serve the entire industry in order to make sure that the success is in place. Well, so the advertising piece. It's not just in-stream. A lot of times when people are talking about audio, there's the notion of it being in-stream, but display and video and database and local and all kinds of other advertising ad units that happen in the digital sphere are actually as important and as lucrative and are being monetized in some cases extremely well, and in other cases not quite well enough yet. So as part of that registration data and part of the push, not just from the panel just before, but also of what I spoke about 2 years ago and reinforced here today, is by making those impressions smarter, by making them more engaging, and by actually connecting with that audience, allows all of us that are looking to help the publisher base connect and drive advertising dollars to actually increase CPMs and to drive the future revenue streams that we are all big believers in. All of these ad units are also not just opportunities now, but they're opportunities that are expanding and really allow audio to tap into digital budgets where in times past audio publishers have not been able to do that. I had the benefit of sitting on a panel last week at a very large financial institution, and the topic of the panel was mobile. And if one would have thought about just even a year ago, just 1 year ago, for digital audio service provider like Triton, me as the representative, to be sitting on a mobile panel and speaking to a global room in San Francisco of very high-tech individuals, it literally wouldn't have happened just 1 year ago. And the colleagues on the panel that we had the opportunity to exchange with were more fascinated by audio, where audio really is mobile and always has been, if you think about it. And we're more fascinated by the audio and the audio components that literally at the end of the session, there was the proverbial lines that come up to place, and the feedback from the not just the financial community, but also the publisher base and the service providers that are pure play mobile, pure play video, pure play others that represent this, are actually getting a little bit nervous about what audio is going to do in the mobile world. It was nice to see and nice to hear, especially based upon what's happened in the past. So at Triton, advancing innovation is our lifeblood. We have employed a lot of people over time, currently today, about 300 professionals who are in charge with expanding our lifeblood into the next phases of both our life and digital audio's life. So as we've grown, we have supported our industry and we've tried to provide the best customer service, but as part of our reinvention of our mission and our vision, we recognize that our customer service required some additional fine-tuning as well. And part of our focus in this coming year and part of our senior leadership's team focus is to make sure that not just providing the products, but also showing how to use the products, and then making sure that the connectivity between us and our publisher base is critically important. So sticking with my Veruca Salt theme and our friends, the Munchkins over here, we are starting to do a much better job listening and taking some of the feedback that we're receiving from the publisher base and taking that into the innovation of our future products. So what is going to take us to the next phase? Well, certainly our data and measurement and all the pieces associated with it, and I know there's a lot of conversation around that, is one piece of the puzzle. So with Webcast Metrics and Webcast Metrics Local, making data smarter, registration data, certainly making the whole audio opportunity more attractive for spending overall, and then being a big participant for audio and mobile in the programmatic sphere is something that's critically important for audio and audio moving forward. So programmatic is not a trend. Programmatic is here. Programmatic has been very successful for those in other areas, and it's just now starting to catch on with audio, another part of the really exciting pieces of the audio puzzle. So part of our continued investment is adding 60 additional professionals and 60 new positions into our company this year. So we're actually growing our overall workforce by about 20% to invest in digital audio's future. Not that it's getting so much easier out there, but we continue to take our growth and support the industry's growth. And in order to assure our participation and that innovation that we've been long known for, we're going to continue to invest as the Internet of Things continues to expand and the scary parts of the Internet overall continue to grow. For digital audio, it's actually getting marginally easier. And finally, just to remind the room that despite changing times and despite the need for some incremental customer service, we are here as your partner to make today's radio better and tomorrow's radio possible. We're excited about the trends that we're seeing, not just for the digital audio ad impression, but also for the conversion from traditional publishers moving into the digital world, the democratization of it, and how exciting it is when the dollars flow in against all those great opportunities. Thank you all for your time today.